Are you ready? You ready to go live?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Count it down.
It's already.
You ready? You ready?
You already? Yep.
Okay. You're live.
Okay. Close unused application is performing.
Try closing
It always says that every week.
on Facebook.
So,
On
yeah,
Facebook.
so just disregard that message.
Okay.
So we're live. Hi, Gabby.
Hi, Tish.
I'm so glad you're here with me.
Me too.
What's
It's been
happening over here?
been a while since we've been trying to get this done.
I know. I'm so happy to have you here.
Me too.
But look, is it 5:30 yet? Yep, it's right at 5:30.
I made it.
Yay! I'm so glad. Girl, I did not know you had like full on tryouts.
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't expect to be as big, but it ended up being bigger than I thought. So it took longer, but it all worked out.
Good.
Yeah.
And so y'all got some good players.
Good players, yeah. Got
That's
some
always
more goal
important.
players, which is always good. But got good players that want to be trained and want to be helped, and that's what we're here for.
That's what it's all about. I appreciate that so much.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
know, I appreciate Willowbrook.
Yes, and we appreciate you and everything you have poured into the kids that you have coached and mentor, and it's a lot of them. And we had one today it's her little project, and she was very impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah, that's so shocking to me because she's so new to the game, and so I'm very excited.
And
that
she was, she mentioned you, and she, all the mentorship that you already gave her, and made her excited about playing club.
Yeah,
So
and
that's-
somebody playing in
appreciate that.
college. I'm like, wow.
And she
okay.
can, yep.
Yeah.
definitely.
So,
Yep.
by the way, the right side.
Okay.
I was saying, let's look at
Yeah,
training her on the
yeah,
right side,
yeah.
teaching her how to
Yeah,
block,
'cause her
whatever,
passing
she's
is not
so
very
athletic.
good. Right.
She's like,
Right.
But anyway, I'm so glad that you're
Yes.
here with
Thank
me.
you.
We're not
Thanks
gonna
for having me.
Yeah, we're not
Yep.
going to be long. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram, and we usually come on early in the afternoon. But both of us had things going on earlier during the day, and so of course we'll share the message. And it goes on my website, it goes on my YouTube channels and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it just, gives an opportunity for people to be blessed by the message.
Amen.
And we know that the I Choose Me message is about creating a lifestyle of balance for yourself first by choosing to be emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually healthy first so that you can be of service to others.
Yep.
And we like to use the analogy that the same analogy that they use on the airplane when they say, buckle yourself up, put your mask on first, then you can put the mask on somebody else, right?
Very
Then you
true.
can help somebody else, because the truth is that we spend so much time helping everybody else and pouring into everybody else without taking care of ourselves first. And it's really important that we do that. And a lot of adults are picking up on it now. It's kind of late, but not too late.
Right. Never
Right?
too late, right?
It's never too late.
Right.
But I wanted to, really talk about cultivating the I Choose Me message between the adults and the kids. Because if we can get them on board with it at an early
Now.
age, then we'll see a lot of issues that we're dealing with kids eradicated because they're not thinking about all of the other distractions of other people's lives through social media and with their friends and whatnot, and wanting to live the life of other people instead of
Theirs.
taking care
Right.
of themselves first.
Right.
And many times with our kids, like me and Gary's kids, Zachary and Tabitha, as we're having conversations, we ask the question, are you choosing you first? Are you taking care of yourself first? And that's what I mean about cultivating the message into the family life, to the relationships that you have with young kids' life, so that they can know that it's not just about, I choose me. It's not just that.
Right.
It is really cultivating it into
Right.
their everyday life.
Right.
And so, again, y'all, I have Gabby here with me. She's originally from Brazil. What part
Yep.
of Brazil are you from?
I'm from Rio de Janeiro, Where the party's at. Yep.
The party town.
The party
okay.
town.
And then you
Yep.
played volleyball at the University of Houston.
University of Houston.
Outside
Cougs.
hitter. Yay,
Yep.
cool.
Right.
Yay. But yeah, played at the University of Houston. You
Uh-huh.
also coached at the
mhm.
University of Houston.
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, not just played at the University of Houston. She was a superstar there. She was absolutely fantastic. She about this tall, but plays like this, like a giant.
Got no option. Ain't got no option.
I know, right? And then also, right now, currently, you're the director at Willowbrook Sports.
Mhm.
Is it called Willowbrook Sports?
Willowbrook Sports Complex, yeah,
Yeah.
home of the A6 Willowbrook volleyball.
Okay, very
Yeah,
good.
that's the legal, how we supposed to say it,
Let
right?
me tell you, I've been
Yes.
at Willowbrook since
They opened.
the day they
Yeah,
opened,
yeah.
before they had a
The
club
Willow,
team.
right? Yep,
Mhm.
yep.
And I was coaching for another club, which
Yeah.
shall remain nameless.
Yeah, because they opened, they built a facility to rent to other clubs, and then they
Exactly.
started their own club.
Exactly. So
Yep.
it's been around for a long time. And then you're also one of my wonderful prayer partners, a good friend.
Yep.
And over the years, you've really protected me and protected the relationship. And I appreciate that so much because it's not very often where you have people that really have your back. And you,
And get it, and it is on the same spiritual level.
Yes.
Because sometimes there's just certain things that you can't just ask anybody to
for sure.
pray for or pray with you about, or yeah.
People
yeah,
don't understand,
don't
right?
understand,
Yeah, so you have to be careful with the people that you bring into your life, especially when you're dealing with spiritual matters.
Very true.
And so I'm so excited that, we have that relationship where,
We
we
both feel
understand.
comfortable. Yeah.
That we understand each other. And so I wanted to talk about, again, the importance, the whole title is about cultivating balance with the kids and cultivating the I choose me message between kids and adults. And when I say adults, there's a whole slew of type of
Adults, right.
kid relationships.
Yep.
Whether it's the parental one or coaching like what we
Right.
do, teachers, your other relatives,
Yep.
maybe your siblings or whatever. And then we know that kids go through a whole bunch,
They do.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, they go.
They really do, yeah.
We see kids going, and we see kids that just go through so much crap on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But if they, again, can learn to develop the mindset of a person who's choosing themselves first and not getting caught up in everybody's opinion
Right.
about who they are, what they're supposed to be doing,
Right.
how they're supposed to look, man, it'll take their whole game to a whole nother level. Wouldn't you agree?
I do. And it's a message that, like when she first talked to me about it, it was something that I personally struggled with, because I didn't understand the full message.
Okay.
So I choose me. I'm like, I never do that. That's not what we're supposed to do. Like,
Exactly.
I'm always serving, I'm always giving, I'm always trying to pour on kids, on people. So it was something that I really had to dig in and dig deep to kind of understand what that all really meant.
Yeah, and so when we say that it's about, taking care of yourself first, right? In all the areas, emotionally,
Yep.
mentally,
It's so important.
physically, spiritually, and even vocationally, right?
Right.
In your
part of it,
business,
yeah.
right? And so it does. I think it's not only just the words themselves, but it's also a lifestyle. It's definitely
A lifestyle,
a
yeah.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
And what happens with it is that I was listening to an audio. Hey, G. Hi, G. He's always there.
Always
and then I
there.
got the Precious over there hanging out with us. Hey,
Beautiful.
Presh.
Beautiful.
Hey,
Say
Precious.
hi.
Anyway, I was listening to this message because me and Gary, we'll go to dinner and we like to, get real deep or what have you.
Yeah.
And so I just love what you were talking about, that, that the message, it transcends time, space. It was there in the beginning. It's what, even when Adam was the first man on the earth, one of the things he did before God created Eve, right? he told the man, now you take care of all this, got it? Naming, taking care, tend the, the whatever. Just take care of business first, and then he brought forth woman. And we know that as men, as women, as people that are growing up, that we need to take care of ourselves first, take care of our mindsets, our emotion, our finances, and all of that, so that we can help others.
Yeah.
And we know that we have two imperfect people that join together in different types of relationships, right? None of us is perfect.
Right.
But man, oh man, does it feel good when you got your head straight.
Yes, it does.
And
Yes.
you're not relying on the other person to get your head straight.
Mhm.
And so that's why it's so important to teach our kids that from an early age.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely. Yep.
And I like to tell the story about how when Tabitha played against Texas and how she was freaking the heck out before that game. And she had to, we had to get into this space. We were up at Willowbrook, by the way, where she had to get into this head space of taking care of herself first so she can go out there and perform. Impossible to perform at that level.
And what a
without-
performance. And what a performance that was.
fantastic,
Yes.
Performance.
Yep.
Yeah, that was some good
But only
stuff.
possible because she did that. She took the time to do that for herself.
If she hadn't, who knows what would have happened that night.
Yeah.
Got it? So it's really important, and it's not just about the adults that are, waking up and finally saying, hey, I'm going to take care of myself now because I forgot to do it in the, back in. No.
When I need it,
Let's do it now, and
Yeah.
let's get the kids that are around us into it now,
That's fine.
because we believe that this message will travel the globe.
Yep.
It will travel the globe. We are going to continue to stay consistent with it, and of course we don't want you to procrastinate about taking care of yourself.
Yes.
Got it? But listen. So, what made you get into coaching?
So, I always loved volleyball, always loved, kids in general. So when I got done playing, and I'm very competitive. So
Very competitive.
when I got done playing, I'm like, I was kind of lost, just like, I don't know,
What's next?
what's next. My identity always been kind of related to volleyball and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, so I need to figure something out. And, my passion, my heart was always to, serve and give. So I'm like, okay, well, and it kind of just fell in my lap. God was just working his ways, and it was the opportunity to show up. And I knew I wanted to work at University of Houston. I had other offers, even like right out of college. But I just knew that University of Houston was my home, and it happened, right away. But just my passion and my competitiveness, because I wanted to still, have that drive, have that feeling, have that experience, and I couldn't do it through playing anymore. So I'm like, okay, so it's gonna be through coaching. So volleyball, which it was my passion, and then kids, another passion. So I'm like, okay, this is perfect.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win, right?
And let me tell you, I don't know of anybody as competitive as you are.
Right.
We're so funny when we try to play together.
Right.
Like we used to. It's like the score could be, 5-5, but in our head it's 10-5, and we're not getting off the court until we win.
Right.
It's not gonna...
Fighting, everything, every point. It's not even a real game.
Yeah. Exactly. Girl, I was over at somebody's house last night playing Phase 10.
Oh, it can be anything, right?
Girl, I lost. I was so mad. And Gary won, but I was happy he won. My sister's like, "Ooh, it's a good thing he won. Lord, help
It
us
would
all."
have been bad, right? Both of them.
I know. So, girl, he won. I was like, "Yay!" Gee, on the inside, I'm going, "Rah." So mad, but trying to keep my cool,
Right.
And then the "I Choose Me" message. Months ago, you like, I want to get a couple of T-shirts or whatnot. What is it about the "I Choose Me" message that attracted you?
So I knew I needed help in that area, because I never, like, when I first saw it, like I said, like, it was just so, different, and so, like, I don't know what that really means. So I'm like, okay, let me get into it. And then I learned a little bit. I read, went on your Facebook, read your books and stuff, and I'm like, I need to know more. I need to learn. I need to get into. I need to dive in. I need to, be all in with this message, because I need to be able to do that so I can be better for the kids that are around me, for the programs that, I'm in charge. I mean, because I am in a leadership position, so I have to have that. I have to be mentally good. I have to be spiritually good. I have to be physically good, of course. But I think mentally and spiritually for me
Right.
is what makes the difference. Like, physically, I never really pay attention to that, to be honest. But like, if I'm not okay mentally and spiritually, then I can't, I can't be good. Like, I'm not good with my kids. Like, I've noticed times that, I've been very like edgy and and just yelling more or more, and I'm like, why? Like, it's not helping them. So it's me, like, I needed to choose me.
Right.
I needed to, like I said, like, just dive into this message so I could be better for the people around me. And when I saw the message, I was like, that's it. That's really what I need. Because, like, I pray about it and I have that relationship with God. But, like, having people help you, it's very important and it's very good. And sometimes I'm very bad at that, like asking for help.
Right, all of us
and
are,
accepting
yeah.
help. But, like, when I saw that message was available and it's there, I'm like, I need that. So I'm like, I need it. Let me buy some shirts so I can be reminded, right,
yeah.
of what I need to do to be better.
Oh, I love that so much, girl.
Yep.
I got
Goosies.
Yeah, chill about thinking about that.
And I'm still a working process, trust
But
me.
you know, you
but
think
I'm
about,
trying-
sometimes when you're on the other side and you're wondering, are you touching people?
Right.
And I hear so many people from across the way talking about how important it is for them to take care of themselves, and they don't ever think about it, right? And or they procrastinate about it, and then they look up one day and that they're, things are not hunky-dory anymore,
Right.
and they're stressed and time has passed and, man, I should have taken care of myself so that my kid could be okay.
Right.
I should have taken care of myself so that I could have had great communication with
Right.
my kid, effective communication, so that I can help them out. But I couldn't help them out because my head was all wrong. Now, there's a story that I love so much. This happened years ago, and Tabitha was on your team
was.
then, and we were at, I think, the George R. Brown Convention Center, and on your team you had this libero. Libero is a defensive specialist on your team, and if you don't have a good libero on your team kind of sucks a little bit, right?
Yep.
It's like, who's going to play a middle, And so back then we didn't have a lot of DSs. It was like the libero, right? Well, anyway, this girl got injured in the middle of the match, and because you're extremely competitive, you're like, what am I going to do? And baby, let me tell you, you went home. You're like, oh, I'll take care of this. I got this. I got this. And you went home and you prayed for her.
Yep.
You believed God for her healing.
Yep.
And I saw you the next day coming with your basket, out in the parking garage with this pep in your
Ready. I was
step.
ready.
You're like, ready. and go ahead and tell me, like,
Yeah.
what is it about it? Because a lot of times we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. We automatically assume things, but we really don't know what it takes in order to have effective teams, kids around us, people around us. And you decided, I'm going to use prayer. Why?
Right. It was the time that I was in a ministry school during that time.
Oh, okay.
And so I was very like hardcore, just God all over.
Oh,
and
okay.
Just really feeling myself.
Okay.
And when I, great relationship with God. I mean, always, but at that time it was even more intense because of the ministry school. So we just, when that happened, I was like, God, like I know you can heal her, and I just went home and prayed. And then God was like, you gotta pray for her.
Oh, okay.
He gave me like a, like, you gotta go and do that. I'm not gonna just, I mean, that's me, me conversating with God, but I want you to put hands on her.
Right.
Not just pray for her. I want you to go there and put hands on
Ooh,
her.
I love
So
that
the
so
next
much.
morning I got out of my car, I was walking.
like,
Girl, I was ready. I was like, I'm ready. Like, I was like, it's like I had God's hands. I was like, all right. So we get there, and
So
she gets there, and I'm like, this is George R. Brown, y'all, and it's crowded.
Yeah.
It's full of people. It's volleyball tournament, so
Right.
it's like full of people. So we get there, and I'm like, girl, I said her name. I said, come here. So I said, we're gonna pray for your knee, because she got there. She's like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you're gonna play today. We're gonna pray for your knee. We're gonna get you healed, and you're gonna be good to go. And I said, can I pray for you? She's like, yeah, okay. I called the whole team. I sat her down at George R. Brown at the entrance, because the big door, the door to the gym wasn't even open yet. So we sat down right there at the entrance, and I just start praying for her and her little knee, and the team was like, okay, you know,
That's what
everybody
we
believing,
doing. Okay.
right? Everybody on board,
Yeah,
you know,
everybody
because when you
agreement.
gather one or more, it's done.
Hey, yes.
So we prayed. Girl, she played the whole time.
She sure did.
The whole day, we
Yes,
won
like
the
nothing
whole
ever happened.
like nothing ever happened. We still have a picture. Actually, the picture on the tournament website is that team picture.
Oh, wow.
Still today, and that's like years ago.
Wow. And
Yeah.
she ended up playing, did she get a full
She
ride?
got full ride. She's
To-
Mississippi State.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mississippi State. So
Yeah.
we know, you know who we talking
Yeah.
about.
and she was a superstar in college.
She was
superstar in
yeah,
college.
she was a
And I don't
bad
recall
mamma
her
jamma.
being hurt. Like I don't
Throughout
think
the
she,
whole time in college. So when you laid hands
It
on
was
her,
forever. But again, I was in all that only happened because I was in a good mindset and good spiritual place, you know, and I was able to hear and I was able to do it, you know,
Yeah.
generally from my heart, you know, with love. And
Yes.
that was the only reason why it worked, you know, because it was all from a real good place.
And
Yeah.
I like that,
Yeah.
that you genuinely care
Care.
about your players. Yeah, about that one individual player, but all of your players. I love that about you.
Yeah.
And then, so, okay. You know, I have a list of questions.
gosh.
So, but anyway, so you are a true disciplinary, but not like, out of control or anything like that, but you demand excellence from your teams. And I love that so much. And when you're even talking to the coaching staff, you're saying, you know, hey, this is what we expect from the girls. We expect it to look like this, feel like this, sound like this. And if it doesn't look like this, then it's on you, coach.
Right, right.
It's on you because it's your responsibility
Right.
to make sure that the girls are doing what they're supposed to do, right? And so when we come to your courts, or if anybody's at your court, you're going, hey, your foot is turned this way and it needs to be turned that way. Hey, your hands are this way, your hands need to be turned that way. Hey, you need to move like this or what have you in order for you to be effective in that position. So as we look at the overall being of a player, anybody that's at your level, the gold level, these girls are saying, I want to be the best of the best. So their all overall goal is to be the best of the best, to go to college, to, you know, they sacrifice time, money, energy, and all of that. So you're able to see the big picture of what those kids want, but it takes these little bitty things in order for you to get there. So if you don't mind just talking about the importance of adults being able to look at the big picture of a kid and being able to bring correction when needed, you know, kind correction, discipline, or what have you, and how important is that when you are cultivating the I choose me message.
Yeah, like it's very hard because it's, you know, it's a lot that, you know, that it's a lot going on. You know, the kids, like life, you know, they have a lot going on.
Right.
You know, when you're on the court with your team, there's a lot going on because there's a lot of people around, and it's just, you know, but they want structure. You know, they want structure. They need structure, and it can't just be like, oh, you know, like if you have a goal, there are things that you're going to have to do to achieve those goals. You can't just like, oh, I want to do that and just sit back and, you know, wait for it to happen.
Life, right?
For everything. So every time I'm on the court, you know, with the kids and they tell me what their goals are, it's like, then it's on me. You know, it's my job to guide them through and do everything that I can to prepare them to achieve those goals. So you as a parent, you know, talk to your kids. Like, what is your goal? What do you want in life? What kind of person do you want to be? And then it's your responsibility and your job to guide them and help them, you know, to achieve that, to get there. You know, but again, you're not gonna be able to do it if you're not okay. You know, you're not gonna be able to transfer anything to them or guide them or mentor them if you are not okay. And that was the same thing with me. Like, if I wasn't okay, you know, I couldn't see what they're doing wrong. I'm just mad because they're doing wrong. You know, but it's like, I don't, so that's not good help.
Right.
That's not good help. That's not what they want. That's not what they need, most importantly.
Right.
And that's not okay. You know, it's not okay for us to treat them like that because we are not okay.
Right. Wait, two snaps.
But it happens
But
with
it's
parents,
true.
and it happens with parents too. You
And
know,
it
if they're
happens
not
with
okay with
teachers
at
and
work,
everything. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like they had a bad day at work and they come home and just screaming at their kids for nothing. Like no, like it's not what they need. We're here to guide them and give them what they need. But again, it all goes back to you. Like you have to be in the right spot to be able to serve them and give them what they need. But,
and it's important to have a balance, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So with the kids, I love what you're saying about that, because one of the things that we did and still do in our family is we have what we call the family meetings. And in our family meetings, we have a full-on agenda, and in that agenda,
That's really cool.
and in our agenda, we don't go outside of the agenda.
Okay.
So we ask the questions beforehand. These, what is it that you want to discuss at the family meeting? We did it since they were children,
Yep.
right? And at the family meetings, we go through the agenda and we check it off. And
Yep.
everybody knows everybody's goals,
Gotcha.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we were all in the right head space the whole time, but having the family meeting and
It
understanding
really
the
helps.
goals,
Yeah.
it allows you to navigate life a lot better,
right? Yeah.
And then the kids also, they realize that, there's a whole bunch of crap that's going on in the world that's vying for your time
Yep.
and in your energy,
Yep.
right? And a lot of it, especially with social media
Yep.
and, your friends that you hang out with or what have you. So a lot of people are vying for your head, you
Yep.
know what I mean? Vying for your time, vying for your
Yeah.
energy,
Yeah.
And if you don't have that goal, like you said, in place,
You get lost. Yeah.
you can get lost.
get lost,
It's
yeah.
it's hard to
It's
navigate.
too much,
Yeah,
right.
it's too much. It's like, a pilot, you're supposed to be going to Paris, France, but you got all distracted and now you in
Yeah.
Rio de Janeiro.
Right. No, it's very true.
If
Yeah.
your goal is to go here, but you're
Right.
all over the place
Yeah.
going somewhere
And
else.
I feel like a lot of the kids are like that. They're
Yeah.
all over the place. And
Exactly.
parents sometimes are not even seeing it.
It's, yep.
And it's that's hard because that is your job.
Right.
You have to make sure that you can see, because a lot of these kids, they hurting. Because when they come to us, and I'm not with them as much as their
The
family and
parents,
parents, but we can tell. And you you can tell the kid, this kid is hurting. She needs attention. Sometimes, like you said, it's just a conversation. They don't know. Like, even it was so funny because it's some like I did this thing with this group, this team I had one year, because they were just different. Like, I don't, so I was trying all different things just to get them confident and motivated. And so I did this dynamic where, like, we were in a circle, and before we started practice, they had to say something good about themselves.
Right.
They couldn't do it.
Yep, been there.
Like, they could not do it.
Say
They could
anything
not
nice
fit.
about
They could
themselves.
not do it. So I'm like, how do you get there?
I love that you brought that up. And it is one of the things that, if you're listening to the sound of our voices, and we want to encourage you to take the time, of course, to have your family meetings,
Yep.
have your team meetings,
Yep.
have your teacher student
Yep.
group gatherings
Yep.
together, so that we're cultivating the I choose me message between the kids and the
And the-
adults.
yeah.
And maybe try that exercise.
Yep.
Get them together where they're asking a simple question like that, because we do that all the time with them. But then we also say something nice about somebody else.
Yep.
And they're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to read what she said
Right.
about me.
Right.
As opposed to you loving on yourself,
Yep.
and saying something nice
Yeah,
about
about yourself,
yourself. Right? And so that's a fantastic exercise.
Right.
For people to use, and from there
Yep.
you can help develop them, emotionally, mentally,
Right.
physically, spiritually, financially, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right.
I just wanted to share this too. I don't know
Oh,
if
okay,
it. I don't
go
know
ahead.
if it.
No,
if
no,
it's,
whatever,
but like,
yeah.
because from this side, because you created the message, so you always knew what that meant. But like, from when I first saw in my human nature of always being a servant, and not choosing me, like, I don't want you guys and everybody to see this message as being something like selfish. Like, if I choose me, that means I'm being selfish. You are not. Like, that's not what the message is about. That's not what it is. Like, you really have to choose you to be able to help and be a good servant, mentor, teacher, parent, whatever, it is that you do. but you do have to choose you first.
Well, we say that, we usually make sure that we communicate that to people because people automatically believe, like what you're saying, is there's something wrong with you choosing your own self first. They call it selfish.
Right.
And I say it's probably one of the most selfless things that you can do. Jesus did it. Before he could go out and minister to anybody else, he took time to pray.
Yep.
Got it?
Yep.
He took time to cultivate his game.
Right.
For 30 years.
Yep.
You understand?
Yep.
Before he went
Yep.
out in ministry. So you're absolutely right.
Yep.
That we have to understand that the I choose me message is about me, but it really
And
at the bottom line is
it's
so that I
about-
can be of service to you.
Right.
I can be of service to my neighborhood,
Right.
to my community,
Right.
to the city,
Yep.
to my state, to my nation. I can do that when I got my stuff right in
Together.
my head.
Yep.
When I have my stuff right with my emotions.
Yep.
When my emotional IQ is high.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Because otherwise you're doing from an empty space, and it's
Exactly.
not gonna flourish. It's not going to go far. It's just
Exactly.
gonna maybe it'll stop right there. Like
Right.
the one practice. I don't want to influence anybody for one practice.
Right. Exactly.
I wanted to do the job we have. I mean, when she's coaching, I mean, she does a lot more, which is awesome. But the coaching part is very draining. It's very, because we have to give a lot if you really care.
Yeah.
Which that's why we do. So we're
Right.
doing it not for the game anymore.
Right.
It's more for the kids and just really getting them to a place where they, happy, they can be successful. They, they know their purpose and all that, that matters, because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters, and I had kids that told me, this year after COVID, I think it messed up a lot of kids' mind, just saying that a lot of them they have their identity attached to volleyball. And I think we all been there at some point.
How about every athlete
Right.
that lost scholarships and all of that because schools closed down? Not the high schoolers, but the high schoolers that were depending on those scholarships,
Right.
And they, and all of that. So
Right.
it
messed up with their, it really affected their identity.
Yeah.
And they and at this point, I had a kid that wanted to, she's like, I don't want to play anymore,
Right.
And I couldn't even be mad because it's so more important for her
Right.
to be okay as a human being and being
Right.
okay mentally, spiritually, she's like, I don't, and our identity has to be attached to God and only God, because if it's attached
I
to
agree.
anything else, it's
Especially your identity. He's the
Yeah.
one that created us.
Yeah.
And so since he's our creator, why
It's-
shouldn't our identity be?
it's
We're made in his image.
It's
So
him.
why shouldn't
Right.
our identity be attached to him?
Right.
So yeah, that's good stuff. And so the last thing that I wanted to talk about is having a healthy head space to perform. Right.
Yeah.
And so what we do when we're coaching. I don't have a team this year, but I'm still around. You know what I mean? Still training and
mentoring.
whatnot,
Yeah.
right? And mentoring.
it's
and what
it's
have
her
you.
gift.
Right.
She tries to fight it every year.
In
but
my
it's her-
brain, I'm coaching, doing the volleyball, but my brain is always thinking past, no. Where are you gonna be in, in 15
Right.
years? Where are you gonna be in 5 years? Girl, this is gonna, help
Yeah.
you down the line. So,
Yeah.
that's what my brain is. But anyway, so what was I talking about? A healthy headspace.
for performance. Yes. Yeah.
So we're in the business of performance,
Yeah.
right? And kids perform not only athletically, but they perform academically, maybe with musical instruments, different types of things. But in order to perform effectively, your head has to be right.
Yeah.
And just can you reiterate how important it is to have a healthy headspace when it comes to performing?
Yeah. Like I said, sports or anything that you are doing that is that you are required to perform, it is very stressful. Because you're being judged by people, you're being looked
Right.
at, you're being, all that stuff that, it goes through your mind. But if that's what you're thinking about, then you
Yeah.
won't be able to do it. And that's why it's so important that you are founded and attached to that identity, to God,
The who-
because it doesn't
to-
matter how I perform. If I
To
have
the
a bad game,
I am of who you are,
yes,
right?
because it doesn't matter. Like if I have a bad game, that doesn't mean I suck.
Right.
Just had a bad game.
Right.
But if you don't have that mentality and that focus and that you are good enough, that you are good, that you are doing that because that's what the gift that God gave you. So you are meant to be doing that, and you got to be okay with having bad days.
Period.
Right,
Yeah.
and everything, and not let that determine the future of your other games. So you cannot perform if you don't, and especially girls, like if they don't feel good, if they don't feel good, it's over. They gotta feel good, they gotta look good. They do.
It's
Like I'm battling this rule that no jury when they play,
I
might just let them do it.
What in the world? What made them come up with that? That they can wear jewelry now?
It's
like, why you?
Right. I know.
Why you got?
But because like they feel good.
Yeah,
It's just their luck little necklace.
Girl, I was watching somebody.
Oh gosh,
with the
little
little girl that came that you're talking about. I'm like, I don't know how you gonna block with them little nails. As a matter of fact, I ain't hitting no balls at you because I'm not gonna be the one that snap your little nails off.
Snap all of them off.
Because you want to come up here and block with your bling blings all.
But
long
they gotta
and what have you.
feel good.
But
They gotta
right.
look good, and they gotta
I'm gonna say Deion Sanders said it a long time ago. In order to play good, Top, do you remember what it is? I gotta look good, feel good, look good, feel good.
Yeah.
If I look good, I feel good. If I feel good, I play
Play
good.
good. Yeah.
And then if I play good, I'm paid. I'm paid good. Something like that. I know. Isn't that how it went, G? He came all up in here to tell me, yeah, that's it.
That's it, baby.
It's something like that. But anyway, I appreciate everything that you said. I appreciate you coming in here to share.
Really fun.
I really appreciate you saying that, understanding that God is the foundation and He's the source, and that if you are grounded in Him, you all. I don't understand how people survive without God. Like, it's like, who you pray to?
Right.
When things go
bad.
You know what I mean?
Because it's gonna happen.
Things happen in life, right? But to have that foundation that you are always driven toward, and we don't, we talk at Willowbrook. They've already said, this is a God-based facility, so you already know that somebody might be praying for you or what have you. And if you don't want prayer, you step away.
Right.
They're open to that. But I just wanted to say that again, that it's vitally important that we spend time cultivating the "I choose me" message with our kids and the relationship between the adults and the children so that we can all serve each other more effectively. When we take care of ourselves, we take care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and we have a balanced lifestyle, then we can be of service to others.
Yeah.
And it's okay to take care of yourself. It's not selfish. It is the most selfless thing that you can do.
Yeah.
When mama feels good and her head is straight, then everybody around is doing well.
Yeah.
And we want that for the men, the women, the children, and every adult and kid dynamic, right?
Because they
Every
feel your
relationship.
energy. Like
Oh,
they feel,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you all for joining us for this broadcast, this session, this
It went by so
live.
fast.
I
Like,
know. You
dang.
look up and it's like, how is it 40 minutes? We
Right.
said we're going to be on here for 30 minutes. I appreciate you. It was raining all in Houston, and I appreciate you coming across. I want to remind you all to get the book, Get Up, You Big Fat Procrastinator. Y'all, this book is so good.
It's really easy to read.
It's easy
and,
reading. And I just saw the word cultivating. Oh, cultivating the diligence factor. And this states that when a person begins the process of a task, regardless of the volume of the assignment, they will work on it consistently until the job is completed. I like that. But anyway, visit my website at letitiabrown.com and pick up your book. And then, of course, you can pick up the I Choose Me. Is it over here? The I Choose Me products as well. And we got some new products. As you can see, I have this new logo. You see that?
Okay.
How about this?
Okay.
How about this on the back?
Okay. Wait, they can't see it. Okay, wait, turn. Wait.
Wait.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not getting up
Okay.
because y'all might see my.
That's
booty.
good.
Yeah, it says I choose me. I choose me across the back. We're still working on it, and I wanted to thank you, Gabby,
Aw.
for coming. And so
My
we got a
favorite
little gray hoodie for you. The I choose me.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Of course, you know
Yay.
the winter is coming around.
Yes, I love hoodies.
And you have a cute
Yes.
little logo
with the new
on
logo.
The body.
Oh,
Yeah.
y'all need this. Y'all need this.
Yeah, so
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you so
Thanks
much.
for having me.
Yay.
Yes.
And then again, thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to you all commenting and sharing and sending the message across the world, because we know it'll be a blessing to other people.
Yep.
Take care now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Instagram. Bye-bye, Facebook.
Aw.